So, One Piece chapter 1118 just dropped. It is an absolute banger. We got some absolutely shocking revelations in this chapter, specifically what comes towards the end. So we find out, and we already knew this, that Stella has passed away. However, York is still alive, Lilith is still alive, and Atlas is still alive. And basically, the elders have ordered that Lilith and Atlas should be deleted and taken out, and then leaving only York. And York basically confirmed that Vegapunk, the brain, will continue to grow in size even though Stella has passed away. So those are some very important things to point out. And again, this chapter was a total banger. The biggest shocker in the chapter was what happened with Bonnie. So towards the end of the chapter, we'll just jump straight to it. Bonnie actually goes Gear 5. Yeah, this is not an exaggeration. Bonnie went Gear 5. She turned into Sun God NIKA, just like Luffy. She went NIKA model. And we will actually get that up on the screen for you guys to see that. It's a beautiful scan. There's the picture. And you can see Bonnie in her form, her NIKA form, looking just like Luffy. Very similar shorts, top, hair, all of it. And she basically says, I'm totally free. And ha ha ha, that's the spirit Bonnie. What occurred was uh, Luffy said that he could sense that Bonnie had the ability to turn into this form. And she basically was like, I don't know what you're talking about, Luffy. And Luffy's like, I don't know how to explain it, but I know you're able to do it. And she basically just tried, and she was able to turn into Sun God NIKA. She looks just like Luffy. And not only is she a Sun God NIKA, she is a giant. So basically, Luffy is in his giant form, and she is also in giant form. What this will actually do, supposedly, is she will now have the same powers as Luffy. She can basically transform the world around him. Oda was trolling us hard. It's unbelievable, but he was trolling us hard. This, I mean, just for us to like work so hard, wait for so long to get to this point of seeing, Luffy after all of these years in his NIKA state in Gear 5, and now, because this is based, that is 100% what Gear 5 is. It's an awakened state, but what's amazing, however, is how she achieved this. This form supposedly may not be her exact awakening. What her ability allowed her to do is basically max it out. So she basically said, okay, I'm going to transform into, her strongest future form. So distorted future, give me a future, right? And she transformed into a form where she's totally free. So she can change her future appearance, basically get the best future outcome. And that is her most powerful form, evidently. I mean, it is breathtaking. So we didn't actually see her do any fighting so far. This was the last panel of the chapter. And what's crazy is that the robot actually fell to the bottom of the sea. So the giant robot that came alive after sensing Luffy, Joy Boy, he basically fell. He got hit, and he fell to the bottom of the sea. And he was like, I could have sworn that I felt Joy Boy, but the thing is, like, it's like he deactivated, and then suddenly, once Luffy changed back into fifth gear, or his awakened state, and then Bonnie also shifted into this form, he basically said, yeah, I definitely feel Joy Boy, I definitely feel Sun God NIKA, and he jumped, and then he awakened again, and now it looks like he's going to head back to the surface, assuming he can, which is unbelievable. But I mean, it's just crazy. It is just crazy what occurred here. And I mean, I think this says a lot about where we're going. We did not expect any of this to happen, and it's absolutely exciting. Zoro did not pop up in the chapter, so we did not see Zoro in the chapter at all. I know in the last chapter, in 117, he basically went up against one of the elders, and he was like literally just challenged his sword play, and it basically suggested that Zoro is definitely on that Yonko level right now, which is crazy. But we knew Zoro was going to have to hit Yonko level, if he ever wanted to have a chance of being the best swordsman in the world. Because currently the best swords, Hawkeye, Mihawk, the best swordsman in the world. Yeah, Hawkeye, right? Mihawk, he is 100% a Yonko. Even if it's not official, he's 100% a Yonko. And Zoro would have to be on that level for him. He has to be not just like kind of maybe Yonko. He has to be able to go up against Shanks, because Mihawk used to fight with Shanks before Shanks lost his arm, and then after Shanks lost his arm, Mihawk stopped fighting against him. So he's actually and it's said in the manga, his sword skills surpass those of Shanks. So so we already know what's happening there. But it was an incredible chapter. Luffy went. He wasn't in his form for a while. He went to the ship, started eating, stuffing a bunch of food down, and after filling his belly, it appears that was able to re-energize him enough so that he can get back into his Gear 5 state very quickly. So it does seem like he's getting better at using Gear 5 now. I was worried that this was kind of like a precursor that Luffy was going to pass away at the end of the series, but it doesn't look like that's necessarily the case anymore. It looks like Luffy may be sticking around. What's really interesting is that, we're heading towards a brand new world, because we know that most of the One Piece world is buried under the sea. So just like how we have, the world around us, it's actually pretty interesting, because we have continents. We have all of these continents, but the reality is that in the world of One Piece, all of the continents are actually buried underwater, and just the highest peaks of those continents are still visible. And those are basically the islands that we see around us. So presumably something will change towards the end of the series, where all of those continents that are buried underwater and all of that ancient technology will basically become available. So the water will recede, and all of those continents will show up again, and it's going to be probably a huge effort to discover all the secrets that existed 1,000 years ago. We also know aliens are obviously there, so they were aliens on the moon, and it's more than likely that they're aliens from other worlds. They ended up coming to the world of One Piece. It seems like that's like the Celestials. It seems like that's a running theme, that there are actual aliens from other planets or something along the lines, at least from the moon. So it seems like there's going to be a factor in there. There's so much in here that could take the series even further. Like, what happens after they discover Laugh Tale and they find out all the true secrets, because we know that the world used to be very technologically advanced. So it's going to be a whole brand new world after, supposedly after, those continents come back and, new exploration begins. It's gonna, and what's out there in the rest of the world, like what's out there in the rest of the universe. It's so exciting. So for Oda to like end the series there, I'm wondering, like, he may just leave it there, or I'm hopeful that he'll take a break like Kishimoto did with Naruto, and then just start a new series exploring what happens after the end of One Piece, and what does this new world look like, exploring that new world, because it's going to be really, really exciting. So that's something I really want to look forward to. But yeah, that was the big thing in this chapter, was Bonnie transforming into Sun God Nika. So going Gear 5, which is it's insane. It's absolutely insane. Okay, that she would achieve this so quickly, but her powers are literally mind blowing. We thought that Luffy's abilities were undoubtedly the most insane abilities. Like, you cannot have a fruit more powerful than Luffy's, but lo and behold, you have Bonnie, and she's her. I mean, she cannot. I don't really see how she can go any higher at this point. But at the same time, we really don't even know what the full length of her powers absolutely are. Like, her fruit is insane. Her fruit is absolutely insane. Guys, what do you think about all of this? What do you think about this insane reveal of Bonnie going Gear 5, going Sun God Nika? This is crazy. Are you excited for the next chapter? We already can see that she transformed into a form similar to Luffy's. So she has the white around her. She's pale, and it's so cool. She has the eyes, she has the smile. My gosh, I am so super excited. And she's in giant form. So we know that she has powers similar to Luffy. We have to wait and see what actually happens. Let me know how you feel about this, how you feel about the chapter if you read it, and what do you think is going to happen. Let me know your thoughts. We'll talk about it in the comments, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.